Hello, and welcome to the Owner Finance Academy, where we help Canadians build wealth by buying U.S. real estate and selling with owner financing. Before we begin, a quick reminder that everything shared on this channel is for educational purposes only. Every situation is different, so always consult qualified legal, tax, accounting, and financial professionals before making your final investment decisions. In this lesson, we're going to look at how Canadians can invest in U.S. real estate without leaving home. By the end of this video, you'll understand how experienced investors build reliable systems, assemble the right local team, and manage properties remotely, so you can evaluate whether this investing approach is realistic for you. Let's get started. One of the questions I hear often from Canadians is this: do I have to travel to the United States every time I want to buy a new property? It's a reasonable question. Most people assume that if you're investing in another country, you need to be there, meet people, inspect, collect payments, or solve problems in person. Reality, though, is quite different. Today, many successful real estate investors operate businesses hundreds or even thousands of kilometers away from the properties they own. Technology, professional service providers, and well designed systems make all of that possible. Now, that doesn't mean you can simply buy a property and ignore it. Remote investing still requires oversight, planning, and good decision making. What changes is how those responsibilities are carried out. Instead of trying to do everything yourself, you build a team of pros who each perform a specific role. Think of yourself less as someone swinging a hammer or driving from property to property, and more as the person coordinating the business. Now, that's an important mindset shift. Whether you live in Toronto, Ottawa, Vancouver, Calgary, Halifax, or anywhere in between, your job is not necessarily to be physically present. Your job is to make informed decisions, monitor your investments, and ensure the right people are doing the right work at the right time. This is especially important for Canadians investing across the border. Unlike someone who owns a rental property a few streets away or a few cities away, you're dealing with international travel, currency exchange, border crossings, and different legal and banking systems. Trying to manage everything personally quickly becomes expensive. Every trip requires airfare or fuel, hotels, meals, and time away from work or family. If you're making frequent trips simply to check on routine matters, those travel costs can begin to eat into your investment returns. A better approach is to reserve travel for situations where your presence truly adds value. For everything else, you build systems that allow trusted professionals to handle day to day activities while keeping you fully informed. Now, this does not happen overnight. One mistake new investors make is believing they need to know every tradesperson, every title company, every attorney, every service provider before they buy their first property. Well, you do not. Your team actually develops over time. As you complete transactions, you'll identify professionals who communicate well, do quality work, meet your deadlines, and earn your trust. Those relationships become valuable assets because they allow your business to become more efficient with each additional property. Eventually, many of the same people work on multiple transactions. Instead of starting from scratch every time, you're working with individuals who already understand your expectations and your investment strategy. That consistency reduces stress and improves your decision making. It's also worth remembering that almost every real estate transaction already involves specialists. Even local investors rely on real estate agents, some boots on the ground, a local representative, lawyers or title companies, insurance providers, and lenders. Remote investing doesn't eliminate those professionals, simply makes them even more important. Your success becomes less dependent on being physically present and more dependent on choosing the right people, communicating clearly, and putting good systems in place. That's why in the Owner Finance Academy course, significant attention is given to building your team rather than trying to do everything yourself. The objective isn't to become an expert in every trade, The objective is to become an effective investor who knows how to coordinate experienced professionals. All right, now let's take a closer look at the people who make up your remote investing team. One of the other misconceptions about investing from another country is that you need to actually know and understand everything that these pros do. In reality, successful investors understand that building the right team is often more important than becoming the expert themselves. Every member of your team has a specific purpose. Together, they create a system that allows you to invest confidently while living in Canada. Now, let's look at some of the key professionals you'll likely work with. A real estate professional. Depending on your investment approach and the market you're investing in, a knowledgeable real estate professional, a realtor, can become an important part of your team. They can help you understand neighborhoods, identify properties that fit your investment criteria, provide insight into local market condition, and act as your eyes and ears on the ground. Perhaps even more valuable than their market knowledge is their network. An experienced realtor often knows a reputable person that you can ask to be your boots on the ground, your local rep. They can know the title companies, they know the insurance providers, and other service providers who may become valuable additions to your team. As with any professional relationship, it's important to take the time to determine whether someone understands your investment goals and communicates in a way that gives you confidence. Next, you need boots on the ground. We use that term to refer to someone who is there on your behalf. It's important to understand exactly what you're buying, and they can go and have a look at the property for you. They can do an independent assessment of the property's condition, and they can give you photographs or videos. You'll receive an update on their perspective of the major system's condition and deficiencies. Based on the instructions you provide them, the boots on the ground can become your right arm. For a Canadian investor purchasing remotely, that initial inspection or walkthrough from the boots on the ground is really the equivalent of you being there. It helps reduce surprises and it supports better investment decisions. Now, remember, the purpose of this initial walkthrough is not to find a perfect property, especially not with the slow flip strategy. But the goal is to understand what are those issues that are real showstoppers that will make the strategy fail. Second, you'll need a title company or real estate attorney. Every real estate transaction needs to be closed properly. Depending on the state where you're investing, this process may be handled through a title company or a real estate attorney or both. These professionals help facilitate the transfer of ownership. They verify the status of the title, they coordinate documents, they ensure the transaction is completed according to the local requirements. For Canadians investing remotely, this process is particularly valuable because much of the closing can often be coordinated without needing to be there. Technology has made remote document signing and communication far easier than it was years ago, allowing many transactions to proceed efficiently while you're still at home in Canada. If there's anything that does require some form of presence, many times your boots on the ground can perform that last step. Insurance is another important part of protecting your investment. Before closing, you'll want to ensure that you have appropriate insurance coverage in place already. Specific coverage required will depend on the property, how it will be used, and other circumstances unique to the investment. Your insurance professionals can help explain the available option and ensure the property is appropriately protected from the date of the ownership transfer. Now, you'll notice that we've been talking about people a lot more than just their service. Real estate is very much a relationship business. The stronger your relationships, the smoother your transaction will go. Good communication, professionalism, honesty, mutual respect, those are the things that create partnerships that can serve you for many years. So rather than constantly searching for someone new, you'll gradually build a trusted network of pros who understand your goals and want to help you succeed. That's one of the advantages of focusing on a specific market instead of constantly chasing opportunities across different states. As you continue investing in the same area, your network becomes stronger, your local knowledge grows, and managing properties remotely in that market becomes second nature. Now, we'll look at the technology and systems that make it possible to stay connected to your investment from anywhere in Canada. One of the reasons remote investing is far more practical today than it was, say, 20, 30, 40 years ago is because of all the technology. The tools available today allow Canadians to communicate with their team, review documents, even monitor properties, and manage many aspects of their business without ever leaving their home. Now, technology doesn't replace good people, as we've just explained the power of your team, but technology just supports them. Think of it as the bridge that keeps everyone connected. Communication is first. Regular comms is one of the most important habits successful remote investors develop. Whether you're speaking with your real estate pro, your title company, your insurance provider, or another member of your local team, staying informed allows you to make better decisions. Fortunately, communicating across borders is easier than ever. You've got the same tools you can use in Canada: phone calls, email, text message, video conferencing. All of this makes it possible to discuss, ask questions, review docs, and solve problems quickly, regardless of where you live. Photos and videos are also key. Years ago, investors had to travel simply to see the condition of a property, but today, high quality pictures and videos can be taken by your local rep, your boots on the ground. They can do your video walkthrough, and you can even get a better understanding of a property's condition and layout by having them go over, take pictures, and zoom in on those things that you want to look at in more detail. And then you've got electronic documents, another major investment. Many of the documents involved in a real estate transaction can now be reviewed, signed, and returned all electronically. This makes the buying process more efficient for Canadians invested in the United States. Instead of delaying transactions while paperwork travel back and forth in snail mail, documents can be reviewed and completed much more quickly. And then finally, you need some organization. As your portfolio grows, organizing yourself becomes critical. You'll accumulate purchase agreements, some insurance policies, closing docs, payment records, tax information, photographies, and all of these correspondences. Keeping these records organized will allow you to locate them quickly whenever they are needed. An organized investor spends less time searching for documents and more time making informed business decisions. And then lastly, you may need to monitor your property. Remember that in slow flip strategy, there comes a time when you might have the house vacant while you are in transition until you can sell it to the next tenant buyer or owner. So there are cameras nowadays that are solar powered and connected to internet on their own. And you can see the video feed of your property on your cell phone to see how things are going for the short days, weeks, or sometimes months before you can sell them to your next buyer. Ultimately, your goal isn't simply to own properties. Your goal is to build repeatable systems. When every new property depends entirely on your personal involvement, your business becomes impossible to scale. But when you have reliable pros, their processes, you've got your systems organized, effective communication, each additional investment becomes easier to manage than the last. That's one of the greatest advantages of building systems instead of relying solely on your own personal effort. Now, by now, you can probably see that investing in the US and in US real estate from Canada really isn't about being everywhere at once. It's about creating a business that doesn't depend on you being physically present every day. The most successful investors don't try to do everything themselves. They build systems, they develop relationships, they rely on trusted pros and advisors, and they stay actively involved by reviewing information, asking questions, and making informed decisions. If you're waiting until you know every aspect of every person's trade in your team or know every neighborhood or every detail before taking your first step, well, you may never get started. Like any business, you'll continue learning as you gain experience. Your team will improve, your systems will become more efficient, your confidence will grow with every new transaction. Remember, remote investing doesn't remove your responsibilities as an investor. You still need to perform your due diligence, you still need to understand the numbers, You still need to choose the right properties and work with the right team. But thanks to modern technology and the right local team, living in Canada is in no way, and I repeat, in no way a barrier to investing successfully in US real estate. Thousands of businesses are managed remotely every day. Real estate investing is no different. With preparation, organization, the right support network, it's entirely possible for you to build and manage an investment portfolio from home. Key takeaways from today, then. Before we wrap up, let's review the main lessons. Successful remote investing starts with the right mindset. Your role is to manage the investment, not necessarily perform every task yourself. Building a dependable local team is one of the most important investments you'll ever make. Technology makes communication, document management, and oversight easier than ever, but it doesn't replace good judgment or proper due diligence. Strong systems can create consistency, allowing your business to become more efficient as your portfolio grows. Canadians can successfully invest in US real estate without relocating, provided they have the right strategy, the slow flip strategy, which we teach, the right people, and the right processes in place. As we continue through this course and the series of videos, you'll see how each piece builds upon the last. Understanding your market, developing your team, creating reliable systems, all work together to help you become a more confident and effective investor. I hope you found this lesson helpful. If you'd like to learn the Owner Finance Academy system for Canadians investing remotely in US real estate, you'll find a link to the full course in the description. If you're not quite ready for the full course, or you'd simply like a practical tool to get started, you can download the free Slow Flip Viability Diagnostic. It will help you evaluate whether a property is a good candidate for a slow flip transaction and help you avoid pursuing a deal that just doesn't fit this model. You'll find that free download also in the description. And if you'd like to join the next free cohort, where you'll be part of a group of Canadians learning the slow flip investment strategy and getting help to buy their first US property. Again, this is a free cohort. You can apply to join by clicking on the link in the description. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson.